Have you ever thought about inviting a team of burglars into your business? Giving them a map and telling them, hey, try and find a way to steal our most valuable stuff. It sounds completely nuts, right? But in the digital world, it's actually one of the smartest things a company can do. So let's take a look inside the world of professional ethical hacking and answer the one big question.
This really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It feels so backward. You spend all this money on firewalls, security software, employee training, and then you turn around and pay an outsider to try and break it all. Well, the reason is actually pretty simple. You want to find your weaknesses before the real criminals do.
And that's exactly what a penetration test, or pen test for short, is. It's a totally sanctioned, simulated attack. Think about it this way. A bank wouldn't just build a new vault and stuff it with gold. No way. They'd hire a team of specialists to try and crack it, to pick the locks, to bypass the alarms. It is the only way to know if the security you think you have is the security you actually have.
Okay, so it's really important to get this straight. This is not some chaotic free-for-all. You don't just unleash a hacker and, hope for the best. A professional pen test is a super meticulous, carefully planned operation with very distinct phases, rules, and goals.
So, every single professional test follows a clear roadmap, and it's almost always broken down into these 5 phases. It all kicks off with planning, then it moves into discovery, then you have the actual controlled attack, followed by figuring out the potential damage, and finally, and this might just be the most important part, the debrief. Let's walk through each one.
First things first, you can't just start hacking. Phase 1 is all about getting the legal stuff and the logistics completely sorted. This right here, this is what separates a professional security expert from a criminal. It is all about getting permission.
And that whole first phase really boils down to 2 critical documents. First, you've got the Statement of Work, or SOW. Think of this as the what. It's the map that clearly labels all the targets, like which specific IP addresses or applications are in scope. Then you've got the Rules of Engagement, the ROE. This is the how. It's the playbook that defines the methods, the testing hours, and crucially, who to call if something goes sideways.
Honestly, this Rules of Engagement document is basically the tester's get-out-of-jail-free card. It has that explicit written permission to perform the test. It clearly defines what's off-limits, when the testing can happen, so they're not, say, crashing your site on Black Friday, and it provides an emergency contact like a kill switch. It even gets into the nitty-gritty, like, is it okay to try and trick employees through social engineering? That's how you test the human firewall, which, let's be honest, is often the weakest link. Without this document, it's not a test. It's a federal crime.
All right, with all the rules in place, the hunt can begin. Phase 2 is all about gathering intel. Before an attacker ever tries to break in, they first map out the entire digital building. They're looking for unlocked doors, open windows, any potential way in.
So, how do they do it? Well, they start with something called Open Source Intelligence, or OSINT, which is just a fancy way of saying they dig through any publicly available data they can find. Then they bring out the really cool tools. Shodan, for instance, is like a search engine, but for anything and everything connected to the internet. Webcams, servers, refrigerators, you name it. A tool like Nmap scans for open digital doors and windows, also called ports, on a network. Then, automated scanners go looking for known, documented flaws. But see that last icon? That's the real secret sauce, a human expert who verifies everything. Automated tools can scream about a lot of things that aren't real problems, but a skilled tester confirms which threats are actually real.
Okay, now we're at the part everyone thinks of when they hear the word hacking. We're going to combine phases 3 and 4 here, which cover the controlled break-in and then figuring out just how bad it could have been. So first up is the break-in itself, where the tester tries to actively use a confirmed weakness to get access.
This quote really gets to the heart of the whole thing. The goal is never, ever to cause damage or delete data or disrupt the business. It's simply to demonstrate that a vulnerability is real and that it can be exploited. It's about providing undeniable proof of a risk so the company is motivated to fix it, period. And this happens in 2 main stages. Phase 3, exploitation, is all about getting that initial foothold. Getting through that one unlocked door. Then comes Phase 4, post-exploitation, which is all about figuring out the real impact. This is where the tester tries to see how far they can go. Can they escalate their privileges and become an administrator? Can they pivot from that first computer to other more sensitive systems on the network? This is what tells you the full potential damage of just a single breach.
So, after all the active testing is done, we finally arrive at what is, without a doubt, the most valuable part of the entire project, the security debrief and the final report. This is where all those technical findings get translated into a real strategic plan for getting better. You see, a great report isn't just a one-size-fits-all document. It has to be tailored for different people. The executive summary, that tells the bosses about the business impact in plain English. The technical findings section gives the engineers all the nerdy, nitty-gritty details they need to understand how the break-in happened. Then, the remediation section gives them a step-by-step guide on how to fix everything. And finally, the appendix has all the proof, the screenshots, the logs, everything that validates every single finding.
So what's the #1 goal of that final report? It's simple. It has to be actionable. This whole thing isn't about pointing fingers or just making a big list of problems. It's about providing a clear, prioritized roadmap that helps the organization work together to actually become more secure, turning those findings into real fixes.
And that line perfectly captures the value here. Without that detailed, actionable report, all you've really done is paid someone to break into your stuff. It's the report that transforms the whole exercise from just a break-in into a powerful, strategic tool for making your defenses stronger.
So let's end on this thought. Whether you know it or not, malicious actors out there are constantly rattling your digital doorknobs every single day. So the real question isn't if your security is going to be tested, it's by whom. Wouldn't you rather it be a professional that you hired, someone who gives you a map to fix the locks, instead of a criminal who quietly walks away with the keys?